So yeah, maybe some more quick thoughts. Um, Talking about tolerances. The brain, I don't feel that the brain likes dealing in tolerances. Um, what I mean by that is, so let's take two considerations. And so you're already gonna have to kind of have your noodle engaged. Is if I'm giving you space, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm holding space for you. Or if I'm taking space from you, it also doesn't mean that I'm holding space for you. And the giving and taking of space, I I believe, or it feels to me as such, that those giving and taking space are tolerances. And I don't think that the brain likes dealing in tolerances. I think that the brain likes dealing in reciprocals, and the brain likes dealing in like really high level math, but always finding balance. Building tolerances is not necessarily finding balance. And so what I'm trying to say with that is the signaling mechanisms that signal for tolerances are probably not the signaling mechanisms that you'd want to use for for like genuine contentment or genuine happiness. And what I mean by signaling mechanisms is, like, again, is it dopaminergic or serotonergic? So you have this idea of, I'm going to I'm going to give space to this person, i.e., I'm going to tolerate them to X amount of thresholds. And in so tolerating, I'm going to experience these basically these metabolites from the process of having to release dopamine or cortisol, epinephrine or norepinephrine, in order to catalyze that intention or catalyze that motion of energy. And so you end up dealing in neurotransmitters that you ought not to, or that optimally you would not be utilizing for a stable human interaction or stable, secure connection. And so to hold space for someone is to not be dealing in tolerances anymore. It's actually to be addressing fact as fact. And so I just wanted to mention that, is that, again, one might deal in tolerances for so long in their life, and then they get to this point where they're actually now, well, I'm no longer going to deal in tolerances, I'm going to deal in boundaries. But the boundaries cause separation. The tolerances were already forms of separation, but they were because it was something that was learned a little bit wrong. Or rather, there were better ways to implement the tools of cognition, the tools of the brain or the mind or the body, these kinds of things, and better examples to be set. And so when someone is dealing in tolerances, they're dealing in it's like they're dealing in dark arts, right? Like it's not actually being able to show up authentically or with the neurotransmitters or signaling mechanisms that create that safe condition. Of course, dealing in tolerances for X amount of time, you can kind of either become numb to it, which is one reason why the tolerances exist in the first place, but you can become numb to it and then perceive proceeding to move forward, but not actually be, I mean, another day is another day, but not actually be going forward as in developing a wider and deeper cognitive network. And so I'm just thinking about like what comes up with, I'm going to give this person space, or I'm going to take space from this person, or I'm going to like, even I'm just going to hold my own space. Well, a lot of times when people are like, I'm just going to hold my own space, they're also dealing in tolerances. They're, I'm going to hold my own space almost in spite of XYZ, whatever, 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 which is not a, it's not clear, it's not the clearest communication of what the brain and body are actually capable of. I'm just using all the words to say, they're not, you're not fully matriculating what is possible for the supercomputer of the brain if you're dealing in giving and taking rather than holding, receiving, and offering. And a lot of times you can, again, you can use the, like, the right words, but energetically it's actually not, it's not the right language. It's not the right feeling. I've had people, you know, and this is where it's like, I've had people offer me things, but in the offering, they are not holding. They are, uh, they're giving it and it can be taken. And if they're giving it and it can be taken, then it is theirs. And therefore, they are not holding what is mine. And if they were holding what is mine, then we could be in the offering and in the receiving of what is mine and what is ours, rather than in the giving and in the taking. So there's just like a couple things to kind of think about. Again, these are things where it's like, oh man, the amount of experience that I need to have to really set those things in the right path. I don't know how much it would take, but yeah, it's how much it would give. Um, but yeah, I just feel like those are some poignant things to think about. Right.